Lots to take from that interview. So Malo Gusto scoring on his 98th appearance for Chelsea. But sorry, Malo, I have to mention it only took Gary Cahill 8 appearances to score for Chelsea. But look, always, I have to mention it, but it's always a special moment to score your first goal for a club.
Yeah, of course it is. And it's took him a while, hasn't it? But it was a big goal in this game because we were talking, they needed to break the deadlock. They found it difficult. I think they summed it up well there, the lads. I think they found it easier to find the players in space in the second half. The back five, they found it very difficult, to play against in the first half. But like I said, he got the job done. And 98 games, 159 career appearances for his first goal. So it's been a long time. I'm sure he'll enjoy that one tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. But it was the goal that really made the difference because it got things going, didn't it? And Chelsea really needed to find a way.
Yeah, it did. It stopped Wolves from packing the defence, packing the box as well. They have to come out and have a little go at Chelsea because they're going to lose the game. And that's where the spaces came. That's where the chances came. And Chelsea took full advantage of that.
And that's been their problem, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think, like I said, from a defensive point of view, I think the minute the ball goes wide, you open your body and you scan. Yeah. He goes to the byline, he fakes to cross with his left foot. Again, you scan again. You have to keep constantly opening your body and seeing where the striker is. And that's my issue there. I don't think he does that once, so I think he'll be disappointed. And, from that position there, it's an easy header for Gusto. But great piece of play from Garnacho. Great ball. And yeah, first goal in 98 games.
There we go. Joao Pedro, a significant milestone for him because it was his 100th Premier League appearance and he made it 2-0.
Yeah, it's a good finish as well. I think they got a little bit fortunate with the deflection on the cross, but it was a fantastic finish.
He played his part as well, obviously.
Yeah, comes on and obviously he's gets a good assist. Taking players on, that's what Chelsea wanted. Gets a little deflection there, but what you need to look at is you see Joao Pedro. He just Neto makes a great run, by the way, to take a defender with him, and the ball comes in, and he's just. Joao Pedro's pushed the other defender away just to give himself a little bit of space, and then he's got all the time he needs to pick his spot. It's weird that he picks the middle of the goal, but still back of the net.
But actually, talking about Estevão there, he really did have an impact very quickly, and it was mentioned in the interview that there were lots of boos at half-time from the Chelsea fans, but as soon as he came on, it just lifted the spirits of the fans a little bit. Yeah, he's definitely got them on side.
Yeah, we said that at half-time. The fans love him. I've been there numerous times, and when he comes on, they're very excited. He's one of them players, excited to watch him. He's a player that people pay money to come and see, and he's playing with freedom. As a young boy, 18, I think he is very direct, and gets the fans off the seat. So he certainly won them over. And he had an impact today, obviously, when he came on.
Yeah, definitely. And then we saw Pedro Neto score against his former side, which I guess it must feel sweet for a player to score against your former side, or not?
I have no idea.
You don't have an idea, but you.
It's sweet to score full stop. This is a classic counter-attack. It's great vision from Enzo. One touch. He knows where Garnacho is. Garnacho is already set off. He burns him the pace there. And it's a simple ball across to finish. It's what we spoke about, The game's obviously got stretched now for Wolves. Wolves are 2-0 down. They have to try and get back in the game, and this is where the pitch opens up. It's great vision from Enzo. He checks his shoulder once, he knows he's on his way. He doesn't put the ball behind him. You see that so many times where, people want the ball in front of him so he can just go on in his natural stride, which he does. Garnacho is a quick player, he's got pace, and puts it across from Neto. He's not going to miss from there.
2 great touches, then he scans there, doesn't he, and then he picks out the man.
Yeah, and for me, it goes back to Enzo, just awareness of knowing, the ball comes out from a defensive header. He knows straight away where he's putting it and delivers it. Classic counter-attack. One ball, second ball across the box, goal. Game over.
Yeah, the fans absolutely loved that moment. And actually, it was mentioned in the interview, I think, by Joao Pedro. He said, we are here for the top 4. They're currently second in the table. And I'm not sure, I get the feeling not many people are thinking at the moment that they can stay there, but they're doing everything right. After 11 games to be second is not a bad return.
No, this is a pressure playing at Chelsea. We all know that. We've said, they've got a young squad. We've said it takes time. And sometimes, I think we've seen that already, you do get spells of inconsistency with that. When they're on form and they're on the game, like we've said against Spurs, against Liverpool, second half today, they can compete with anybody. But, for Chelsea, need to be obviously challenging for trophies. Being in the top 4, being in the Champions League, back in the Champions League where they deserve to be now this season. And they're the pressures that come with the club. And, these young players are learning that, and they're on the upward projectile.
They're sneaking.
Looking over your shoulder there.
They're just under the radar.
Keeping the noise down, going about the business quiet.
Exactly.
Are they title contenders?
If they keep getting results like that, they will be, obviously. They're in a great position. And they're keeping it quiet. Like they say, top four is our aim. Yeah, I don't believe that. I think they'll be wanting to try and see how far they can go.
Yeah, and we talk about the fact that consistency or lack of consistency is hindering them. So what is it that gets them consistency? What has to change? Is it in training? Is it a mindset thing? What we're going to see what has to happen to get Chelsea churning out results week after week?
That's the only thing at this moment that I see as an issue for them. The squad, they've got strength and depth in positions now.
Is it a confidence thing?
I think it's easy. Like you say, it's easy to turn around and say experience, but I think it is. I think there's an element of that, because if you look at the squad, there's not any players really that's been there and done that in terms of the consistency needed to go on and win titles, as this man knows. Yeah. You've
done a few yourself.
It's consistency week in, week out, and that's just at the minute what they need to try and get right. But in terms of the squad, in terms of the big games and competing against the big teams, have proved they can more than do that. It's like I said, churning out week in, week out. And getting results like they did today when they found it difficult in the first half, which they did. So,
and they've got Cole Palmer to come back as well.
Yeah, and
that's not a bad addition.
Yeah, that's not bad. Well, we talk about the squad depths of Arsenal. They do have a deep squad, don't they, Chelsea? And they've got the confidence because they've won trophies as well before. Probably not something that was expected of them. So
yeah, it helped them massively. That I said it. Towards the back end of last season when they picked up 2 trophies, that was huge for this squad, because to get the feeling and the taste of winning, and you want more and more. So that was good. That was big. Sorry, in terms of the experience of this squad, we can't keep saying every year they're lacking experience, because they gain experience season after season, and that was big. To go in the Club World Cup and go and win that against huge teams that were out there. That's a big moment for the young squad. So to keep building, like I said, they are building, and they just need to get that bit of consistency that ultimately you need to win a title.
Yeah, you felt like there was plenty to build on, or a little bit to build on after that first half, where they did show spirit, but then in the second half it all fell apart. And look, this tells you really the story of their season. The fewest Premier League points after 11 matches. Look where Wolves are. The others have been relegated, so it feels like it is an absolute mountain to climb for whoever is the incoming manager, and that looks like it will be Rob Edwards. Look, it's not impossible, but going by history and what's happened before, it's a very, very difficult task.
It's a very difficult task, and we were chatting as to why would you leave a team that's on the up in the Championship, to go here where they might end up back in the Championship. It's a strange decision, I feel, but
the lure of the Premier League.
Yeah,
maybe he played for Wolves. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, he's got ties to Wolves, hasn't he? He used to play there. Who knows? But when you look at these stats that I'm looking at now, and it's 25 goals in 11 games, it's the lowest goals scored in the Prem was seven goals. No player scored more than 1 goal in the team. Wolves fans need to turn off now while I'm reading these out. And the biggest one here is no team's ever stayed up with this tally. So unless you're a record breaker, it looks very bleak for Wolves this season, and there's a lot of this season left to play as well. So it's a tough ask. It was a tough ask for James Collins to step in tonight. They played really well first half and just couldn't sustain it, like you said. And it looks bleak for Wolves.
Well, they certainly did score goals. Realistic expectations then for Chelsea this season?
Top 4 and compete for trophies. Give a good account of themselves in the Champions League. I think that's what we're looking to do, an improvement on last season.
Top 4 realistic, do you think?
Yeah, at least. On form like that. I think they've got eyes on something else as well, not just top 4.
And as you said, we talked about squad depth. Where does their squad rank?
Yeah, again, when everyone's fit, we've got Cole Palmer to still come back. It was nice to see Liam Delap back out there. It gives another option for the manager and Joao Pedro. I quite like Joao Pedro in that little number 10 role. So it gives another different dynamic to the Chelsea team. So, yeah, they've got enough. They're going well, keeping the noise down and going about their business quietly.
Chelsea 3, Wolves 0. Okay, we already know that there will be goals in this game, and it did not disappoint. Chelsea ended the first half goalless and then came out guns blazing in the second half, scoring 3 unreplied goals to beat Wolves 3 goals to nothing. And then that moves them 6 points closer to Arsenal, who are the table toppers. So you can imagine, after all this stress, after all these inconsistencies, the injuries, and Chelsea are still 6 points close to Arsenal, who are leading the table. I mean, they cannot ask for more, because Arsenal have been supremely consistent so far this season, and Chelsea being second at the moment, pending games that will be played today, but they are currently second after the game against Wolves. They are doing great, if you ask me. Now, they have been doing that. They have been playing with Cole Palmer. Don't forget that. Now, back to the game against Wolves. It was a drop first half, They created a lot of chances. No, don't make any mistake about that. They created a lot of chances against Wolves in the first half. But one way or another, they fumbled most of their chances in the first half. They closed the first half, I think, with 0.99 SG. Had 11 shots, if I'm not wrong, but a 3 on target, but still couldn't find the net. They missed some easy chances and then made some silly, poor decisions in attack in that first half. But second half changed everything. When you're playing against a low block, that first goal is very, very important. And Chelsea couldn't have that in the first half. In fact, if they had scored in the first half, this game would have easily ended 5 or 6-0 to Chelsea. But they didn't. But they did their job in the second half. And kudos to Malo Gusto, who scored his first goal for Chelsea in 98 appearances. Well, good header. Attacked the back post well and connected with a good header to put Chelsea in front, and that opened the floodgates. And this guy Estevão, every time this guy plays, you'll be like, wow, what a footballer. He came in, first touch, second touch, bang, set up second goal for Joao Pedro. That's how good this guy is. Amazing footballer. He's making the difference each time he plays. But the thing is, he's 18, adapting to a new team, a new league. You don't flog him with appearances right now. And if you do that, you will burn him out, and then also you will start seeing bad performances, and then the fans will start crying, shouting, he's not good, he's this, he's that, So, but I like the way Maresca is protecting him so far. He's giving him the time to settle, and each time he comes in, he performs at high level. That's what he needs to do this season. From next season, he can become a regular. This is how Xavi introduced Yamal to at Barcelona. The first season he was giving him rare starts, but when he comes on as a substitute, he always had impact, and then he allowed him to use that season to adapt, and then the following season he was a regular starter, and boom. You need to give the players that opportunity to learn, opportunity to adapt, assimilate, understand, adjust, and then before unleashing them. So that's practically what Enzo Maresca is doing, and you cannot fault him for doing that. He needs to protect the lad. He's 18 in a new country, in a new league, in a new team, so he needs to do that, and boom, the guy will explode. So far, it's been amazing. His development has been amazing. It's not easy, but he has been amazing so far for Chelsea. No doubt about that.